One of the things we're learning after years and years of study is that the first 5 years are critical.
And children who start behind stay behind. Unfortunately, we have plenty of research to support that. We know that quality environments for young children birth to 5 make a tremendous difference in their lives and their academic success as well as lifelong success. So in order to get a quality environment, what do we need? We need folks who know what they're doing in their work with children.
You know, there is a special relationship that is developed when a child is enrolled in a child care program. I mean, they end up being the ones that is with the child all day long. They have this experience that the child relates to them when they walk in the door. They stay with them through the transition of the day, through nap, through everything that actually happens. And they are there to listen to the words. They're there to heal the wounds.
Well, what we now know is one of the most important things we can do with young children is have caring, trusting relationships. That young children need to be able to count on the adults in their lives to meet their needs. And it is that trusting, caring, nurturing relationship that actually is the foundation for learning.
Let's find out who's at school today. This way, Andrew. Who's at school today? Who's at school today? Andrew's at school today. Wait, Andrew. Wait.
Who's at school today? Millions of young children and the thousands of early childhood teachers who nurture and educate them. That's who's at school today. And thanks to the Teach Early Childhood program, thousands of early childhood teachers are not only at school consistently with their students, but are also in school themselves.
We were seeing increasing numbers of children spending most of their day, 5 days a week, in early childhood settings. And often they were with teachers who barely had a high school education, were paid dismal wages, and often left at a rate of 40% and 50% a year.
To address the complex problems leading to high turnover rates and the devastating effects high turnover rates can have on young children, TEACH was started in North Carolina in 1990. What originated as a small pilot program to increase teacher retention has now spread throughout the country with far-reaching and lasting successes. Well over 100,000 teachers have directly benefited, resulting in improved care for millions of children. TEACH stands for Teacher Education and Compensation Helps. The components include scholarship, education, compensation, and commitment. Caregivers receive help with tuition, books, and paid time off. They earn bonuses and increased compensation for completing credit hours, earning degrees, and committing to staying in the field. Both longtime participants and newcomers continue to reap the benefits.
DC prides itself on having very high standards around the delivery of program services as well as standards for personnel. And the enthusiasm around TEACH is the way in which it is very deliberately structured and paced so that people are working towards a certificate or degree as the end point. It's clear to the scholarship recipient, it's clear to the center where the scholarship recipient works, it's clear to our policymakers. It's a very clear progression. And it has generated a lot of enthusiasm among the participants. I think I've been drawn to it because of its comprehensive nature, even as it is a scholarship program. It's really much more than that. It's a system change mechanism that's going to really make the workforce what it needs to be for young children and families.
happens with teachers is because they've gotten the education to be able to understand what the development of children are all about, then they can listen and they can reply to the needs of children. We've been around for 40 years. One of the things that is important to us is the Teach Early Childhood program. We've had so many teachers to actually go through the program. We prioritize education as one of the most important things about what we do, because when teachers actually understand the development of children and how their temperaments are and what that means and how it works with their experience and can relate the two together, education and experience, it makes a major difference in terms of the lives of children.
We hold the license for the T.E.A.C.H program in Florida and have held that license since 1996. In 1998, we received funding to implement T.E.A.C.H statewide. Part of what we do with T.E.A.C.H is do workforce studies. We determine where the field is, and our experience now with T.E.A.C.H is that we've noticed there's now trending with the educational credentials, and it's impacted the workforce, and it's also impacted policy in our state. As a result, we now have a director credential that we were able to secure in policy because of the availability of having T.E.A.C.H resources to help directors to be able to access those credentials.
The program that we have at Tallahassee Community College, when I went there in 2004, had 89 students. The laws were passed in the state of Florida at that time requiring CDAs and the director's credential, certificate or credential. At that time, the T.E.A.C.H scholarship program was made available, and we went from 89 students to we currently have over 350 students, and many of those students are on the T.E.A.C.H scholarship. They had so many students wanting to go on that they went ahead and began to pay for the A.S. degree in early childhood education. And because of that, these students who never thought they could complete the first class that I taught now are graduating with their A.S. degree.
Pretend like you're the child. First, you're going to go up the ladder. You're at the top. And then
When I first went to Tallahassee Community College, I saw a hesitant, scared, tired, very apprehensive, older child care worker who had been told to come back to school and earn a certificate, a credential, or a degree. Now I see a very eager, older child care teacher who wants to complete that degree and has all the confidence to do so. And thanks to the T.E.A.C.H funding, they don't have to worry about where the money is coming from.
We've been doing this a long time, and we see consistent outcomes. Teachers do well. They go to school. They honor their commitments. We see lower turnover. We see teachers earning more. All those outcomes that we want to see happen. What makes T.E.A.C.H successful is that we've developed a model that has critical components, has expectations of how it's administered, and the kinds of competencies needed to administer the model. What that gives states is model fidelity. When they sign up for T.E.A.C.H, they know what they're getting. They have a right to expect accountability. We have the obligation to ensure accountability. So when individual states deliver a T.E.A.C.H product, they're delivering a product that looks like a product across the nation. So T.E.A.C.H has been a very effective strategy in improving the quality of our workforce, the consistency of our workforce, and giving our workforce hope.
Most of the staff who come to us come without advanced education, come from meager circumstances. T.E.A.C.H allows us to send them to college. And the education that teachers receive through those scholarships open doors for them and open doors for their families, open doors for children. For the recipients themselves, very often it never occurred to them that they would go to college. Very often, it never occurred to them that their own children might go to college. I've been at JCCEO for 25 years, and so many times have had staff tell me that they got their degree at JCCEO, and now their child is in college, and they're so proud, and I am too.
When I started teaching, I was teaching very young children, and I approached it the way I approached being a mom. I had a schedule, and everything had to go a certain way, and I didn't understand that I could just play. And while I was playing with the children and allowing them to direct me, they were learning, and they were learning language, and they were understanding what an adult should be like and what a caring relationship could be like. The longer that I've been in school, the more that I've learned that being a teacher, it's more about being a part of what the children are doing, facilitating their play, modeling calm behavior and helping them to resolve their differences. I have more patience with my own children now, the longer that I've been in school and the more that I've learned about child development and the more patience that I have in the classroom. I can't go home and not have the same amount of patience for my own children. Not that I was an impatient mom, I just didn't take the time to listen in the way that I know now I should listen. It's also benefited my children who are 13 and 10. When they see me sitting down to study or to read, it's now all of us have our homework time and our study time. So we have more family time, and they're interested, what are you learning? It's been a real emotional thing for me. It's been a wonderful journey, and at my age, to be offered the opportunity to go back to school and have someone pay for it and to be doing what you're passionate about is a gift that I wish I could give everyone.
Education is a transformative experience. If we all look back on our experiences in education, and if we've been fortunate enough to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or PhD, we can look back and think about who we were before and who we are after, and we can recognize in ourselves the transformation that's happened. And what we see with T.E.A.C.H is we get to see that transformation happening over and over again. And for many of our recipients, they're the first generation to go to college. And so the transformation is the beginning of a cycle of transformation, because here this teacher is the first to get her degree. Well, it means her children are going to get degrees, and other members of her family. So many people in our workforce want the opportunity to better themselves, to learn more, to go to school, to earn degrees. So T.E.A.C.H gives them that hope, and in return, they give back. They give back in the commitment that it takes to go to school every day, day in and day out, sometimes 5 years, sometimes 10 years, to earn a 2 or 4 year degree. They give back in staying in early childhood education, in that classroom. They give back to their children and what they've learned.
Early childhood education is not where it should be in this nation. It's not a priority for this nation. Too often it's a catch as catch can for parents, the most convenient place, the best program I can afford, whatever is free. It's a shame that in this very rich nation we have not figured out how to do right by our youngest citizens, the ones we'll all be depending on one day to take care of us. We need to deliver the message everywhere we can that we're losing children every day, that we don't have a strong system of of high-quality early childhood education that reaches every child.
And we now have Nobel Prize winning economists. We have vice presidents of the Federal Reserve saying the best investment you can make is in young children, because research is clear that high-quality early childhood pays enormous dividends. Children who are in high-quality early childhood programs are more likely to finish high school, they're more likely to be married, they're more likely to own a house, they're less likely to be involved in the juvenile justice system. For every dollar you invest in high-quality early childhood, you save $17 down the road. And the core of those high-quality early childhood programs are high-quality, well-educated teachers. And the way to do that is to support T.E.A.C.H.
I feel that we're extraordinarily lucky to have a program like T.E.A.C.H. that supports teachers to get the kind of education they need so that they can provide higher and higher levels of quality care in child care programs, Head Start programs, preschool programs, pre-K programs across the nation. T.E.A.C.H. is making a huge difference.